Assalamu alaikum, all of you. It's me, Qurat-ul-ain Abbasi, lecturer in commerce from Government Girls Degree College, Naushahro, Feroze. This is my third lecture from the subject Business Communication. Today we will discuss on the topic Characteristics of Business Communication. In other words, or the famous words, the 7 C's of the communication. What are the characteristics of the communication? In Effective Republic Relations 1952 was a book which was published in 1952. Writer of the books were Professor Scott M. Cutlip and Alan H. Center from the University of Wisconsin. They defined a set of the principles which we know as the 7 C's of the communication. That was a set of the principle defined by these two people. These elements are the characteristics of the communication, which are as under: completeness, conciseness, consideration, concreteness, courtesy, clearness, and correctness. Now we will discuss all these 7 C's separately, slide by slide. So number 1 is completeness. Effective communication or complete, that is, the receiver get all the information he need to process the message and take action. A complete message reduce the need of follow-up questions and smoothness the communication process. Now what is the follow-up? Follow-up means continuation or repetition of the same thing that has already been started or done. Okay, so always try to reduce this thing, that don't repeat the same thing again and again. That thing hinders your message. So this is the first thing or first character of the communication. Number 2, conciseness. Conciseness is about keeping your message to a point. What is the point? Means the final result. This is more about the contents of your message rather than its length. So always try to keep important points only. Don't make a length of your message. You have to put your message in a conciseness form. Means in a little. Conciseness helps the receiver focus on what's important. Who are the receiver? The audience or the decoders. Who are those? They may be individuals. They may be the group of the people. Now consideration. Effective communication takes into account the receiver's background and point of view. If your message hit a nerve or sound is disrespectful, the emotional reaction of receiver might affect the perception of your message. That means when you are communicating to anyone, what you are communicating, you have to consider your audience, also your words. If your words hit the nerve of the audience or sound of your voice is disrespectful, then the emotional reaction of the listener might affect the perception of your message. So try to see this thing, that you have to consider what you are talking and to whom you are talking. Concreteness. A concreteness message is specific, tangible, and vivid. The words you are talking, these are tangible words which helps the listener to understand you. It's supported by the facts and figures. Whatever you are talking, the words must be relate on the facts and figures for enhanced credibility. Because if your message is rely on facts then that will be a knowledgeable, that will be an honest message. There will be object, there will be sincerity of yours. It helps your audience gain an overview of the broader picture, because what you are talking, your audience are getting an image of your personality, of your views. Concreteness mitigates the risk of misunderstanding. If your message is concrete, that will mitigate the risk of a misunderstanding. What is the mitigate? This is the planning for the disasters and having a way to lessen the negative impact, foster trust and encourage constructive criticism. Now, courtesy. Courtesy means respecting the receiver's culture, values and beliefs. That is, crafting a message that is genuinely polite and unbiased. Because who are your listener? Who are your audience? What is their culture? That means the ideas or the customs. Their social behaviors. What are the values? Means their principles or standards of the behavior or the standards of the life or social standards. And what are their beliefs? Means the truth, fact and confidence. So always see these points also, that who are your audience, what are their cultures, their values and beliefs. Always respect that thing also. Now clearness. The clearer message, the easier it gets for receiver to decode it according to your original intent. Because if your words are clear, you are saying in a clear words your message. In that condition, your audience will decode it according to your intent. First, you have to be clear to the audience. At that point, you have to look two things. Number one, if you want to deliver an effective message, start with a clear communication goal and accurate thought. Your thought must be accurate, your goal must be clear, just like the drop of the water. What is your communication goal? The data or the words or the knowledge which you are targeted to communicate. Second thing, learn communications built on exact terminology and concrete words. Means your words must be clear, your terminology must be exact and fine to reduce ambiguities and confusion of the communication process. Means your words must be clear and open, not hidden. Now, last one, correctness. Correct grammar and syntax. Watch for increase effectiveness and credibility. If your grammar and syntax is very much clear and correct, then it increases effectiveness and credibility of your message. Formal errors might affect the clarity of your message. If you do formal errors in the message, it will be not clear to the listener, trigger ambiguity and raise doubts. If you are not clear, then there may be raised doubts. They might have a negative impact on the overall perception of the message. If you do small mistakes, they might affect the negative impact and the perception of your message, which could be seen as sloppy or negligent. So, always be correct with your message. Thank you all. Hope you understand the topic. We will be meet again with the new topic.